Growing up, I was child number 5 of 6 in an immigrant family, which is another way of just saying that the younger kids had to figure life out on their own. With little attention, learning was incredibly difficult as I grew up. With little guidance, life made little sense. By the time I was a teen, I could not see eye to eye with my parents, and things were intense. And it was during this time that my grandpa stepped alongside and started mentoring me and helping me make sense of life. It was at this moment in life I decided that I want to be like my grandpa, to help people make sense of their lives. Shortly after my grandpa stepped alongside me, things began to turn around for me in a big way. I had a successful landscaping business, I was at the top in my swim team, and best of all, I was mentoring about a half a dozen guys. It was a whirlwind of progress and success, until February 16th, 2000, when an explosion rocked my room. All my progress was wiped clean, and it took 2 years and 9 operations to recover. This was my first hard life reset. I went from 100% clarity about my life to an absolute zero. For years, I struggled to regain my footing, to get back to that clarity I once had with what I wanted to do with my life. Eventually, years down the road, I decided to become great at remodeling and moved to Albany, New York, where I also became a youth leader to continue getting better at helping other people figure their lives out. 3 years later, I decided to move to Savannah, Georgia, where I continued my now solo construction career and get trained by an organization how to mentor people effectively. The years rolled on, and by now I've lived in Savannah for 3 years, and I was finally feeling like I got back to that 100% clarity I had before my explosion accident. Then, one beautiful sunny day after completing the biggest solo bathroom remodel project, I decided to relax in a hammock. The way this hammock was made meant that if one string ripped, the whole thing would just break. After years of people using this hammock, as I lay in it and started dozing off into sleep, that one string ripped and the whole thing just vanished from underneath me. Directly underneath my lower spine was a 4-inch stump, exactly where my spine landed. For the second time in my life, everything I've worked up to that point in my life came to an end, and I could no longer do any kind of construction work. Because of this injury, I had to leave from Savannah back to Albany, since that's where the only specialist I could find who actually could help me lived there. So, although I was 1,000 miles away from my mentors, I did get trained by them for 3 years. As I recovered for 2 years, I decided to invest all my knowledge into a few different churches. Things were going great, and I was back to helping more than ever, applying everything that I've just learned in the past 3 years. Finally, after 2 years of recovery and trying to figure out my life, for the third time in my life, I felt like I have once again achieved that 100% clarity with what I wanted to do with my life. I felt like the luckiest person on planet Earth. It seemed like that whirlwind of success from when I was a teen finally caught up with me again. I was passionate about what I was doing and loved helping others. With 100% clarity, I felt that this was what I'll end up doing for the rest of my life, helping other Christians grow in their faith. It was amazing until December 25th. Christmas Day rolled around. Little did I know, life had a gift waiting for me. On this Christmas Day, still high as a kite from a mix of drugs she consumed on Christmas Eve, a girl from the church where I spent years working with the youth, she went there and publicly accused me of the exact things that could effectively destroy everything I've done and created up until then. She told the whole church that I was a major drug dealer and that she had enough dirt on me to put me away to jail for the rest of my life. As if this wasn't enough, she continued saying that I was a satanic cult leader, that I personally raped her and led a gang to gang rape her. I know you're dying to find out what happened. And although the accusations were proven false pretty quickly, my name was blacklisted and all the churches that I've worked with kindly asked me to just stay away. For the third time in my life, I went from 100% clarity to absolute zero. I was shattered. everything was wiped away and my name was tarnished. I was devastated. Shortly thereafter, I was cut off from most of the community I grew up in, from my friends and family members. I was back to zero clarity. Unlike the other two experiences where I had a support structure and I just had to refigure out what I wanted to do with my life, this time I had to start from absolute zero, bottom of the barrel. I had to dig for over 2 years to rediscover who I was, what I stood for, and create a new community and friends. So I got a factory job and focused on my healing. While at work, I focused on helping and training fellow employees on company work methodologies, while outside of work, I started mentoring a few guys here and there. At the end of the 2 recovery years, I got a new job which quadrupled my income, and I was saving over 75% of what I was making. Things were looking good once again. While at this new job, I met a guy with whom we decided to start a partnership. So I invested all the money that I saved up until then and got a few friends to invest with me. I left that very good job to start working with this new business. And within a few weeks of leaving that great job, this guy just shut the company down, shut his phone off, and just poof, vanished, leaving me with a $20,000 loss to deal with. For the 4th time, I was back to the drawing board. But instead of complete and utter confusion and being directionless or confused about what I should do with my life, within 4 months, I was back to 100% clarity, focused and dedicated. It was at this stage in my life when I had a lot of people calling me to help them figure out their life direction. Throughout this stage, a lot of them were telling me that I should do this full time. And then a very good friend who I've helped with her life direction a few years before sent me a text message that changed my life. She said, "Alexi, I really think you need to get paid to do this because you're really gifted. You can help out so many people." Something clicked inside my heart and mind in that moment. That day, I came home and I reached out to over a dozen people I've helped over the years and asked them to give me a testimony of how I helped them. As these testimonies started pouring in, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I knew that what I've been searching for my whole life was finally found. Or more accurately, I finally realized that ever since deciding I wanted to be just like my grandpa to help people clarify their life direction, I've actually been doing this for the past 19 years. And this is how the Clarifier Blueprint was born. Through my 4 major hard life resets where I had to re-clarify what I wanted to do with my life going forward, and dozens of other small resets in between, like a girl I loved said to piss off after I told her how I felt about her, or a car accident. I learned that there is an exact process on how you can decide with clarity and confidence in what you want to do next with your life. I've used this very blueprint to help doctors, contractors, graphic designers, entrepreneurs, business owners, high school students, college students, and military personnel. How we get to asking the question of what should I do next with my life is different for each of us, but eventually we all get to this question. And the Clarifier Blueprint helps you figure out this question very quickly. Click the link below and sign up to get access to the Clarifier Blueprint for yourself. And if you want even more, check out our free resource page on our website to start learning more at theclarifiers.com. If you need help now, I offer one-on-one sessions to help you make a decision much sooner than later. This is like getting a fish to feed yourself for a day or two. For those of you who are dedicated to learning the art and science of helping yourself and others with this question, check out our online course where you can dive deep, learn this skill, and be part of a community where you can continue learning, growing, and asking questions. Going through this course is more like learning how to fish and know how to teach others to fish. If you're ready to learn how to answer the question of what should I do next with my life and be able to help others answer this question in their life much sooner than later, then click the link and start learning today.